Blog Talk Radio.
What time is it?
WH Radio.
Welcome back to WrestlingHeads Radio. It's me, Oscar, filling for Skits tonight. Joining me now, I got Tom. What's going on, Tom?
What's going on, Oscar? How you doing out there on the West Coast?
Enjoying the sun, like usual. Not actually the summer heat, but...
Yeah, you're lucky. Sun's down over here in New York.
But anyways, yeah, we could talk about weather some other time, but we have a special guest joining us tonight. And for all you people who have been following us, I guess you know what I'm going to be talking about. He is one half of the current Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion, and you will usually see him in the show called Ring of Honor, and he's going to be in his, you could say, his pay-per-view debut this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Fish. What's going on, man?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. But before we go and get the show on the road, for our listeners, if you have a question for Mr. Bobby Fish, you always can call us at 760-454-1107, or you can tweet us at WrestlingHeads anytime during this interview. So let's get this show on the road, shall we? Bobby, the first question I want to ask you, how did it all start? Like, when did you decide to become a pro wrestler?
God, I don't remember exactly the year. I think right now I'm probably heading into like year 12 that I've been doing
Okay.
this.
Okay.
What was the question? How did I start?
Yeah, like where did you guys train at, or?
Okay, I trained originally with a guy by the name of Tony DeVito, who was one of the Baldies in ECW. And then when ECW closed down, he moved over to Ring of Honor, actually. And he worked mostly in the tag team, the Carnage crew. So for me, it was really kind of coming full circle to go, to end up back with Ring of Honor myself and to have such impact in a tag team capacity there. And then outside of Tony, then when I started working in Japan, I went down and did some work with Harley Race, and then started working for Noah in Japan, and not necessarily trained over there, but definitely learned on the fly quite a bit from my time there.
Yeah. Is this something you always wanted to do since you were a kid?
I was a fan from the time I was a kid, but I don't know that this was necessarily what I wanted to do. It was always something that was kind of joked about amongst my friends.
Okay.
That was something that I would end up doing, but to be honest, my first real interest as a kid was martial arts, which has been kind of a lifelong thing with me now, which has always continued. But I'd say, when I was a child, like what I dreamed about was probably playing football more than anything else. Like football was kind of the driving force all the way through, like middle school and high school, and then college. Pro wrestling as an actual option occupationally really didn't come into actual consideration until I was kind of nearing the end of college. Like I actually probably graduated, and then I considered it.
All right, cool. Yeah, definitely. Tom, you have a question?
Yeah. As a fellow New Yorkan, what did you think of, the independent scene all over New York? Because sometimes New York independent wrestling can be kind of a hit and miss. Sometimes it can be great, like 2CW, or it can be, one of those kind of cheap shows where the owner runs away with the money, as the owner did with Extreme Rising. So what did you think of New York independent wrestling when you first started?
I didn't think there was a lot of, I didn't really even know what indies were when I first started, and then as I became more acquainted with them, New York was never really a spot where I did a lot of shows, like a lot of repeat shows. Once in a while, there'd be a one and done sort of scenario somewhere in New York, and this was early on when I had first started. I couldn't tell you the last time I did a quote unquote indie in New York, other than no, really. I think I might have done one for Jack Sabbath at some point in the past year, and that was that's the only one I can think of that was in New York. I really don't think there's much of an indie scene in New York. There may be some stuff down towards the city that I just for whatever reason don't participate in. That may be better, but I know like close to me there's nothing. And generally, I'd say almost every booking I take is out of state.
It's interesting. I said that's interesting,
Yeah.
There's
not a lot around here.
Yeah, you talk to some, New York. I've talked to some New York independent wrestlers, and they're always traveling. They're always traveling to Pennsylvania. They're traveling to Maryland because they say there's not much of a scene here. The other states.
Yeah.
The farther you go west, it seems like is where it goes, where there's more action and there's more possible bookings for you to take.
Right, but the flip side to that is that if your plan is to try to make a living doing this, and you at the same time plan on staying within a couple hour range, then you're not going to be successful. So the travel is something that you need to accept early, and you need to get acquainted with early, and the better acquainted you are with that, the earlier that you make that routine and understand that that's part of it, the better suited you are moving forward, because it's travel is it's just part of it.
Yeah, definitely. Bobby, my next question I want to ask you is something that I was hearing a rumor about the last 2 weeks. You might have been asked this so many times, but I want to hear it from your mouth. The rumor was that supposedly that you guys were in talks with TNA to show up for a one-time appearance, but then I'm not sure if you guys turned it down or things could not work out. I just want to hear your address of that rumor.
I couldn't hear all of that question. Like the beginning was kind of in and out. I think I have an idea as to what you're talking about, because I've been asked this a few times in the past couple of weeks. At this point, within the wrestling industry, rumors fly, and if you are somebody that's grabbing some attention, and Kyle and I certainly are, then you're going to hear a lot of different things. I will say that there's offers from multiple places at this, and I can say as far as what we're committed to and where we're going, this Sunday, Ring of Honor is doing pay-per-view for the first time in company history, and we're doing it in Nashville, and that's where Kyle and I are going to be, and I would say that we are front and center, spearheading the charge in the biggest show of the company's history. So that's where our focus is, and that's what we're concerned with.
Yeah, definitely. This Sunday is the pay-per-view, and I just want to ask you, how does it feel that now you finally get to perform in a pay-per-view event? Because usually, you probably never thought yourself that, don't think the only way I get in pay-per-view is somehow if I'm in WWE or TNA, but now you finally get the opportunity. How's it like? I mean, what's your mind going through right now?
I think I've always figured that those things were going to come in due time, and that those were part of the industry. A lot of that stuff I've done in Japan prior to this, which is different as far as it translates to the States, but at the same time, this is a TV industry, and pay-per-view is part of that, whether you're talking pro wrestling or mixed martial arts or even boxing or whatever. Pay-per-view is all, and TV, they're hand in hand. So I'm prepared for this. At no point did I think that, okay, this is shocking to me. I expected this to come, and whether it be with another company or it be with Ring of Honor, I give Ring of Honor credit for stepping outside of their comfort zone. I give Ring of Honor credit for trying something new, and win, lose, or draw with this thing. They have to be applauded for that. And the only way that you're going to evolve as a person, as a company, the only way that you're going to grow is to get outside of your comfort zone, and that's exactly what Ring of Honor is doing this weekend by going legitimate pay-per-view.
Yeah, and hopefully after this pay-per-view, you guys do consistently do more pay-per-views, because ever since the Ring of Honor stepped away from the pay-per-view situation, as a fan, it's kind of a little frustrated. It's, not to witness, the example, Super Card of Honor, live. You have to wait like 2 days to watch it, and sometimes I'm like, I have to wait another 2 more days, So now, from a product standpoint, I'm happy to hear you say that, because you want the demand to be there, and I think as long as the demand is there, then hopefully the numbers reflect that, and if the numbers reflect that and the demand stays there, then I don't see why that wouldn't be the case. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be watching it no matter what, either if I'm going to a friend's house or I'm going to order it myself and watch it at home. So I'm going to freaking watch it no matter what. So I'm going to support you guys somehow,
cool.
some way.
Yeah, you don't want to miss it.
I'm not going to miss it, no way. I'm not going to miss it. Even if I break my legs, I'm watching this. Go ahead, Tom. You have a question?
Speaking of best in the world, you and Mr. Kyle O'Reilly will be defending your Ring of Honor tag team titles against the returning Christopher Daniels and debuting Kazarian. So what is it like for you personally? And I know you can't speak for Kyle, but you have 2, legends in the business coming back to Ring of Honor, and you're going to be defending your tag team titles front and center in a highly anticipated match on Ring of Honor's pay-per-view debut. What is it like for you to have this moment?
This is just a continuation of all of the work that we have put in from day one, just paying off, and to be honest, it's satisfying to know that what we believed from day one, that more people than not probably did not see coming. I don't think people thought the pairing of Kyle and myself was going to pay off the way that it has. And, after War of the Worlds and the year and a half that we've had in Ring of Honor, this is a continuation of that, getting the opportunity to continue what I have to consider at this point is becoming just a legacy within tag team wrestling, certainly within Ring of Honor, dare I say the industry itself, and Daniels, Kazarian, as honored as I am by the challenge, this isn't our first dance, and this is going to be the continuation of what we have been doing, and rewriting what it is to be a tag team, to do tag team wrestling in 2014.
Yeah, I would say you guys are kind of at the center of tag team wrestling because, you know, I would say if you look around the mainstream products, there's not a lot of focus and not a lot of attention put into tag team wrestling, and it seems like it's kind of like a fading act. But then you look at Ring of Honor, and then you look at your match with the Young Bucks at War of the Worlds, and you look at what tag team wrestling is supposed to be, and that match was everything and then some. It stole the show. Everybody was talking about it. So, you know, you and Kyle are kind of at the center of the best tag team, I believe, in wrestling, because nobody else is doing it better than you guys.
And that is certainly what we believe. That is what we say. That is what we put out there, and that's because we believe it. And it's not that we didn't believe it right from the beginning, but at this point, I think it's been confirmed time and time again, and I think people are starting to recognize, and people are starting to pay attention to the things that, like I said, from the beginning, we believed in, and that yeah, I mean, we honor certain things from the past. We're influenced by things that you know, this business has lived its life on certain norms and traditions, and those things are always going to be are always going to work, and I think that a lot of that stuff influences what Kyle and I do. And at the same time, we're heavily influenced by more modern things, and we're able to mix those things together. And you're 100% right. We are hands down the best tag team in the industry at this point.
Yeah, definitely. We actually got a question for a tweet, but this was actually my next question, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask my version of the question and then to his, because he asked something added to his question. But shout out to Jay, by the way. Hope to see you in PWG in the next show. But my next question I want to ask you it relates to PWG. Every time I'm at the show, I mean, no lie. Every time at the show, I hear fans say, why the fuck Bobby Fish is not here? You know, what's up with that? And I hear like rumbles like Kyle wants you in, try to bring. I never heard it from his mouth, but that, as I'm hearing, why do you think you haven't performed at PWG? And it's a no-brainer. You would love to perform in PWG in Reseda.
You know, that's a question for somebody else. They book, you know, who they want to book. I don't know. I don't know why my number's not been called, but it hasn't been. So I don't have the answer to that.
Yeah. Well, hopefully one of these days you do end up. I can finally get to see you wrestle in person. You know, because it'll be an honor to watch you wrestle in person. I've seen Hero and all those guys, Adam Cole, so many times. You know, so if you finally get a chance to see you wrestle, that'd be freaking awesome. And
well, the fact that Kyle is out there, I mean, I think right now Kyle and I do our best work together. So it's a no-brainer for me, and I would have zero qualms about heading out west for numerous reasons. But if for no other reason, would just be the opportunity, you know, for Kyle and I to do what we do right now better than anybody else, and the more places we are afforded that opportunity, the better.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm gonna add the second part of his question. He said, if you ever get a chance to work in PWG, would you like to work against Kyle, not team up, but against him, like if you do a little feud with him for that PWG strap?
I don't know. I don't see much reason for that. I don't rule it out. But I don't see a whole lot of reasoning for it. If it made sense, then yes. But I don't know.
Well, if you like, we did Magic 4 when we had ACH here a couple of months ago. We were like, we're going to tweet to PWG to bring your ass over here, and it worked. So if we could do that for you, and if it worked, you could probably thank us later.
All right. Like I said, I mean, it's certainly it's certainly not something that I'm opposed to.
All right, definitely. I'm going to say shout out to Ken to Jake for tweeting that, so shout out to you again, man. I hope I see you, PW. Go ahead, Tom.
Got to ask, you're mainly performing for for Ring of Honor, which is, the forefront of independent wrestling. What do you think right now of independent wrestling as a whole? Do you think it's as strong as ever? Do you think there's still room for improvement? Where do you stand with independent wrestling in your mind?
I'll address kind of just wrestling as a whole. I think is at the beginning stages of an upswing. I think I have a positive view on wrestling in general right now, whether it be indies or what you see on TV, regardless of the company. I think wrestling is finally starting to head in an upward direction, and it's about time, because I think fans and the boys alike have kind of been waiting for it for a while now. But I think I think more than anything, it speaks to the talent pool that's out there in general. I think you've it's not to say that there's not some bad talent out there as well, because there's certainly more than enough of that. But I think you've got some guys at the top level of that talent pool that are leading the way, whether that be within Ring of Honor or WWE or TNA, New Japan. You've got some really talented individuals that are out there that are doing pro wrestling right, and I think that more than anything else is why the industry is beginning to experience that upswing.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say, my boy Skits, he wants me to ask you something. He wants me to ask you, down the road, would you like to work in a single career in Ring of Honor?
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever rule that out. I know that I could step off a curb and get hit by a bus tomorrow, so that may never come. I know that I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now, which is not exclusively working tag, but predominantly working as one half of the best tag team in the world, and I'm pretty satisfied with what we've been doing. Not satisfied enough to finish writing chapters at this point, but I don't rule any of that stuff out. I never would, but more than anything else, I don't think you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So, but yeah. I don't rule that out. No.
Yeah, definitely. Right now I just want to see reDRagon conquer in Ring of Honor right now. So you're still doing a good job there. But my next question I want to ask you that's relating to Ring of Honor. I know you guys just recently did the Supercard of Honor during WrestleMania weekend, and I just want to ask you, now that WrestleMania is going to be in my state where I currently live in, California, next year.
San Francisco?
Well, I'm from LA, but San Francisco, the Bay Area.
Right. I was asking, is that where that's where I thought it was going to be? Okay.
Yeah, San Francisco, 6-hour drive from me. And my question is going to ask. Well, at first I heard that a rumor that WWE doesn't want other promotions to do shows around, but somehow Dragon Gate, Evolve, they're doing shows out there. They already announced it already. So my question I want to ask you. of Honors be doing shows during that WrestleMania weekend?
I mean, if history is any indicator, yes. I don't know about the rumors of another company trying to shut down shows, WWE trying to shut down other shows. I don't know. I believe that is the plan within Ring of Honor, is just to continue doing what they're doing, which is to run that weekend nearby. So that would be my expectation.
All right, cool. Hoping it does happen, because I am planning to go to WrestleMania, but I'm not just going to go there just to watch WWE. I want to see more wrestling besides that. So if you guys do a Ring of Honor show there, that's most likely be my first Ring of Honor show, and hopefully you guys are still a tag champs at that time, so I can watch you show up your talents out here in California. So
I would imagine we will be.
Definitely.
I'll go on record and say yes, we will be.
All right. Hopefully you guys get.
In fact, I just don't see anybody beat them.
Yeah, I have confidence you're going to have the tag belts till then, or maybe even longer than that.
By then we might have all the belts. I don't know. We may go out and win the TV title and the world title too. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. See, now that's power right there, people. Ladies and gentlemen, that is power right there.
Well, we may just have
Tom.
everything.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tom. All right. Just kind of wanted to switch it a little bit. You talked about you spent some time in Pro Wrestling Noah. Talk to us about your time there. Did you get to work with any legends over there? Was there anybody in particular that helped you the most, in a foreign land that you weren't used to?
I mean, just by virtue of being a culture other than the one that you grew up in, it's there's a big difference in everything. From a wrestling standpoint, I got to be in the ring multiple times with Kenta Kobashi, with Mitsuharu Misawa. It really doesn't get much bigger in Japanese wrestling than either of those guys. And to have that opportunity one time is amazing. But to have that opportunity multiple times, as well as sharing the road. You're on the road when you're over there, and you've got nothing but the boys. You're even with the language barrier, which dissipates the longer you're there, because you start to pick up more Japanese, and their exposure to you, their English gets better. It's to have that experience as a whole was more than just influencing your wrestling. It's just kind of life-changing, to experience another culture from that close up and to kind of be immersed in it for weeks at a time. If it weren't for pro wrestling, certainly probably not an opportunity that would have presented itself to me in my life. So for that, I'm grateful. And then from a wrestling standpoint, obviously, it's an honor to be able to sit here today and say that I shared a ring with Misawa or Kobashi.
Yeah, two absolute legends, not even just in Japan, but in the world. People in America still talk about both of those guys' matches to this day. And Kobashi's retired, and unfortunately Misawa has passed on, but their legacy is going to definitely live on for a long, long time as far as some of the best wrestling matches in the world ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. My next question I was going to ask you that relates to Japan. I know recently you got those two shows with New Japan. My question I want to ask you: how possible that now that they brought Japanese talent to America, how possible can they bring guys like you and Kyle or Adam Cole Elgin. How is it possible to bring you guys over there to Japan and maybe do a show do one of their shows?
I don't know. I mean, that's not up to me. I don't know what exactly the agreement will be between them and Ring of Honor, but I know that there is some kind of a relationship there. So time will tell.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully, if they do something like, now we want your guys to come to do our shows, it'd be nice to see you guys go against like the Time Splitters or again the Bucks again. Go for it. Or the Hooligans again. I'll be up for it. So I know you guys are gonna do a good show out there. I'm sure the Japanese fans will by watching your work, and hopefully you guys get out there in New Japan and kill it out there.
I have thoroughly enjoyed the time that I've spent in Japan. So for my own selfish reasons, I would love the opportunity to go back over, and the opportunity to work a team like the Young Bucks or the Hooligans, who both teams I know we have chemistry with. I know we now have history with both teams. And to be able to do that in front of a Japanese audience would be a huge opportunity, because I know the way that a Japanese audience appreciates good pro wrestling, and it goes without saying that that's what one of those matches would provide. So I would love that opportunity. I would love to face a new challenge like the Time Splitters. If you open up that box, the possibility of a Japan run with Kyle and I, that there's all these interesting combinations that I can think of that I would love the opportunity to explore those. So yeah, I mean, time will tell, but hopefully something gets worked out. That'd be nice.
Yeah, definitely. I actually got another listener that tweeted a question to us. He wants me to ask you that we just recently saw the two matches between you guys and the Bucks. You both got one win each. How possible we're going to see a third one? You could pretty much have a climax. Who gets the second win? So how possible? Basically, he's asking if we're going to see a third reDRagon versus Young Bucks in Ring of Honor anytime soon.
I think like any wrestling company that knows what they're doing, I think if the fans want something bad enough and they make enough noise for it, it will happen. I don't see any reason for there not to be a rubber match between us and the Bucks, or even the Hooligans. These are things that could easily be revisited because there's chapters left to write. I don't think the book has been closed on either of those things. So as far as Ring of Honor booking these matches, I mean the door is wide open for those things to happen again.
Yeah, definitely. I want to say a shout-out to Mysterious Mexican. Thanks for asking that question. I know you're a big Young Bucks fan, but I know you want to see that third match. But, yeah, go ahead, Tom.
Well, see, Oscar, that would just be another victory for reDRagon. So I don't know what Mysterious Mexican would be thinking. Because, you win at War of the Worlds, they have the momentum on their side, and plus the reDRagon, come on. That's tag team. No offense to the Young Bucks, but
no offense.
So I wanted
even though
to move kind of away from pro wrestling for a bit, because I know you do some MMA, and I actually saw your MMA debut in Albany, New York. How has kind of MMA been going for you? Is it something that you're going to continue going with, or are you going to stick predominantly with wrestling?
From a training standpoint, I've never stopped. I train as much as I'd like to, but I would imagine I'm not alone when I say that. Life gets busy, and you'd always like to put a little bit more time in, especially when it comes to certain elements that are wrapped up in martial arts. But it's been a while since I've fought predominantly because pro wrestling has gotten so busy. Pro wrestling is and will remain the priority for me, but martial arts has been a lifelong journey for me, and it's something that I continue to this day, and I don't think it will stop until I'm no longer drawing breath. So I never take the possibility of more involvement in any kind of martial arts as something that's not going to happen. I just know that right now pro wrestling keeps me beyond busy. So to squeeze in even just training has been difficult, and martial arts is definitely part of my training routine, and it will continue to be. Whether I fight again anytime soon, I don't know. We'll see. I know in the immediate 5-6 months, there's really no space, and predominantly because of pro wrestling.
Yeah, definitely. My next question I want to ask you, I see actually it's this Saturday, actually. You're going to be at AWA. You're going to be going against JT Dunn this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
My question I want to ask you, what's your thoughts of JT Dunn? He's a cool dude. He's been on this show before, and I ran into him in Reseda just watching the show, and he's a pretty cool dude. And we sometimes meet and chit chat on Twitter. So, what's your thoughts of JT Dunn?
I don't know him. I believe we have met before.
Yeah.
But I certainly don't know him as a person, nor he know me. I have heard the name a few times. I'm not all that familiar with his stuff entirely, but he gets an opportunity Saturday night to become relevant, and unfortunately for him, it's the outcome is not going to be what he, I'm sure, hopes, but he will gain a certain amount of relevance just by virtue of default Saturday night.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, what's funny, when you earlier mentioned, like, you wanted to start playing football at first, that kind of reminded me that one time that he had him on the show, that was his first, like, passion, football. He played safety, and it was kind of like the same story. You guys are pretty much having the same background, pretty much. So, yeah, the only difference is he's wrestling ECW, you're wrestling Ring of Honor. So, yeah, that looks like it's gonna be a good match between you two guys. And that's something that people should check out. So,
well, yeah, maybe Saturday night we can settle things with a good old fashioned nutcracker drill.
Yeah.
Which anybody who's played football in the past will know and understand what that drill is, and we'll certainly separate the men from the boys.
By the way, what position were you playing?
I played strong safety.
You see, it's funny.
Strong safety, depending on the defense. Strong safety, or we ended up. The college that I ended up playing in, we played in a 4-3, so I played weak side linebacker.
You see, and I'm a St. Louis Rams fan, and that's what they need, a freaking safety. That's what they freaking need, is a damn safety. Go ahead,
Tom. So right now, you guys have faced a number of tag teams. You and Kyle, you faced the Briscoes, of course, the Young Bucks, Hooligans. You guys have been going through tag teams like it's been nothing. Is there any tag team that you guys haven't faced yet that you guys would like the opportunity to showcase why you guys are possibly the greatest tag team in wrestling right now?
All of them. We want to face everybody. Everybody who's anybody, we're up for the challenge. We are not ducking anyone. If somebody wants to sign the X-Men to a contract, we'll take them on any combination. Somebody wants to call up the Justice League, maybe the Avengers. You know, it doesn't matter to us.
Yeah, there's like a couple of teams I like. For
Ren and
example,
Stimpy, Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, Ren and Stimpy, Beavis and Butthead, Tom and Jerry.
Take them on. Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Sure. Batman and Robin. Can't believe we left out Batman and Robin.
Yeah, Demolition had them in there. Legion of Doom.
Hey,
yeah.
Ding Dongs. I mean, that'd be a dream match for me.
Oh man, the Ding Dongs.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of the best tag teams ever. Come on, everyone remembers the Ding Dongs.
Conquistadors. I don't know if anybody's got their phone number.
Yeah. Well, not the Nasty Boys. I saw them this past Saturday attack the Young Bucks, and they handled them pretty good. So there you go, the Nasty Boys. But out of seriousness, there's like two teams I like to see you guys against. One is that this Saturday you're going against JT Dunn, but he's in his TV product with David Starr. That would be a match I like to see. And there's another team in my head. They wrestle in PWG consistently, but right now one of the members is injured, P.P. Ray, here in California. They're pretty good, so I like to see you guys go against them. But right now Ray Rosas is injured, so yeah.
Well,
so hopefully
get in somebody's ear in PWG and let them know, and we can make it happen.
Definitely, hell yeah. reDRagon invades PWG. Why not?
There you go. You got to get a petition going. You got to circle the wagons, so to speak, amongst PWG fans and demand you some Bobby Fish. Yeah,
definitely. If we could get ACH to PWG, I'm pretty sure we could get Bobby Fish to PWG, and I finally get to see you wrestle in person. So I don't have to wait till WrestleMania weekend. All right. Go ahead, Tom.
So I know, there's a lot of listeners out there that have been wondering this, Bobby. As noted on Kevin Steen's Weekend Escapades, you are a fan of white pants. So do you still rock the white pants to this day, or have you decided to retire them completely?
No, the white pants are still they're still in my possession, and then when the time is right, I will break them back out. I've been known to rock the white pants, and I don't plan on deviating from that. Works for me. Not everybody can pull it off, but I can. Not everybody can pull this mustache off either. Somehow I do. Therefore, a guy that can pull off this mustache can certainly pull off a pair of white pants.
Yeah, I would say so. Definitely. See, that's what makes, I would say, you different, because everybody's kind of doing the same thing, and then you're rocking the mustache and the white pants, and everyone's looking at you. A little bit funny, but you're
people
standing out.
People are afraid of the white pants. They fear the white pants.
Yeah, I think people just don't understand the power that the white pants have and the responsibility that comes with wearing it. As noted, you spilled some chocolate on there, and it was a heartbreak because.
It's true.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to ask you, Bobby, is there anybody I've not yet worked with that's maybe possibly either in the WWE current roster or TNA or in the Indies that you haven't got a chance to work with and would you love to work with?
Probably a guy who even given my time in Japan, I never was fortunate enough to cross paths with, but would certainly be the great Muda. Was always kind of a hope of mine, especially once being given the opportunity to work with guys like Kobashi, like Masawa, and with a company where Muda definitely did a few guest bookings, but never on a tour that I was on. So yeah, I mean, if you were to give me the pencil for one night and allow me to book myself, it would be against Muta.
Yeah, definitely. Great Muta. He's a legend, by the way. WWE should put him in the Hall of Fame.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Definitely.
If I had to do it in a tag team capacity, if I may ask myself a question,
okay.
For Kyle and I would love the opportunity to work Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard.
Oh shit, the Brain Busters, old school there. See, that was basically that's the time when I actually started watching wrestling, when those guys started coming down. You know, basically tag team wrestling got me into wrestling. From Brain Busters, the Rockers, Demolition. That's important for those guys that probably would not still be a wrestling fan today. So there you go.
Bulldog.
That was a great era.
British Bulldog, Heart Foundation, Fantastics, Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express. I mean, it's endless. Go over to Japan, you got to talk about Furness and LaFon. You got to talk about the Malenkos. I mean, it honestly is it's endless. Tag team wrestling has such a rich tradition, and I think that's why Kyle and I are as successful as we are, is because in many ways what we do better than anybody else is blend a mix of what's new and a mix of the traditions of days past, and we blend it better than anybody else. Yeah,
definitely. And you know what? Let me ask you this. I asked Kyle this a few months back when we were here. Let's just say that I know that ones become wrestlers, maybe some won't admit it, but they would love to have the WWE title as in their resume, like had it won before. I know a lot of wrestlers want that. But a tag team aspect, do you feel like the Ring of Honor tag team titles are like the belts you want to get, like the top belt that you must have, to get in your resume?
I don't know. For me, yes. I can't speak for everyone else. And pro wrestling is just on all levels very subjective. So it depends on the person. Like I said, for me, yes. Those were the goal from the moment that Kyle and I came together, and to have worn those now for the third time, it still hasn't gotten old. I don't feel like it will get old because, again, there are more chapters left to write. I feel like Kyle and I are just scratching the surface. We're the best, just scratching the surface. So a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, I can't even fathom the level we will be operating on. It will literally be untouchable by anyone else. But yeah, those belts certainly mean more to him and I than anything else. And we are willing to go to any lengths to keep those. We will rape, we will pillage, you name it. I don't think, like I said before, barring the Avengers or some other combination, I don't see anyone within Ring of Honor or outside and being brought in. I just don't see them taking them off of us.
Yeah, great confidence there. And I just want to say, as a fan about tag team wrestling today, I mean, like I said to you earlier, I started watching because of tag team wrestling, and now today I just feel like the past decade, Ring of Honor has the best tag team division, better than WWE and TNA. So I feel like those tag team belts are special. So hey, hats off to you.
I think so.
You're currently thinking.
I think those these belts were given their credibility by teams like the Briscoes, by the Kings of Wrestling by the American Wolves, and then reDRagon has come along and taken, something that was already perceived to be at its highest level and taken it to an even higher level. So, it's amazing to me to think of how we will be remembered, and the fact that it will be alongside of teams like that I just mentioned. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Tom, before I pass on to you, I want to let our listeners know if you guys have any questions for Bobby Fish, just tweet us at WrestlingHeads or give us a call at 760-454-1107. We're not going to have him on too long, so if you got anything else, just go for it. You better do it now. Go ahead.
I got to ask, this was something that I was thinking about, now with Ring of Honor making its pay-per-view debut, and, of course, with Global Wars and War of the Worlds just happening last month, with the problems that there were in the past with Ring of Honor's pay-per-view on different occasions, that's something that's obviously improved tremendously, and now they're going to be on pay-per-view, which hopefully is another step in the right direction. Just what's your opinion on this whole process going out and knowing, because you and Kyle went through kind of that phase where there were problems with the pay-per-view, and it was frustrating for the people, and I'm sure it was frustrating for the wrestlers when sometimes people wouldn't even see your matches because of, technical difficulties and things that possibly could have, been avoided.
I think from a company standpoint, you work to put together the best product possible. And my humble opinion, Kyle and I have been essential to that product being turned out. And with the pay-per-views and the problems that were experienced, I mean, we were showing our fans that this was the product we had, and then we were unable to deliver the product to them, not because of the product itself, but because of the way that it was being delivered. And I think the fans, their voices were heard because they were denied their access to reDRagon, and Ring of Honor did what they had to do, which was to go out and find another more reliable means to provide the wrestling public with reDRagon, with the best tag team wrestling the industry has ever known. It's no secret now. People know that that's what Ring of Honor has, and it was Ring of Honor's duty. I mean, they had a responsibility to get that out there in a reliable fashion with a reliable vehicle, and they're righting that whatever wrong that may have come about. They're righting that wrong Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Bobby, my next question I want to ask you relates to Dean. I'm pretty sure you have a great relationship with him, and that's probably a lot of people were making all these rumors about you guys were going to appear at TNA
with
at
who?
one time. Or Davey Richards.
Okay.
Pretty sure you guys have a great relationship, and that's why, like I said, maybe that's why that rumor was going around between you guys and the Wolves, whatever. But my question I ask you, how much did he do to your career?
How much? What?
Influence did he get your career? Like, did he give you a lot of advice or anything?
No, not really.
All right. Yeah, because I thought you guys might have like a little great relationship between you and him. So, but anyways,
no.
Yeah. No. All right. I actually got that question from a friend of mine who's joining us today. But anyways, well, My last question I want to ask you, Bobby, is that I know we were talking about possibly having you come into California, but the way how things are going around, between 1 to 10, how much is the chance that we'll see you in California between now and WrestleMania weekend?
Between now and WrestleMania weekend, I would not be able to put a number on that. I have no idea. That would be a question for people that are promoters booking shows in California. At this point, there's a lot of demand for Kyle and I. Lots of places. We were just over in England 2 weeks ago. We've got a couple other international bookings planned through the summer. And then there's, stuff throughout the country. I said at the beginning of this, I think right now, Kyle and I do our best work together. So it really comes down to promoters running shows in California. A place like, for instance, PWG, that'd be a question for them. If they want to bring what is quality products to add to their product, a quality act to add to their product, look no further. I mean, we are, as far as tag team wrestling goes, we are top of the list at this point. So I can't answer that, unfortunately. I can't give you, I can't rate it, I can't put a number on it because it's just simply not up to me. If someone reaches out to me, then I have some say. But until that occurs, that's a question for somebody else.
All right, cool. Well, this is what I'm going to do. I know you can't give any promises, but I'm going to just cross my fingers until hopefully WrestleMania weekend you guys will perform out there. Ring of Honor does some kind of shows out there in the Bay Area, but if somehow some crazy shit happens, like, there are no Ring of Honor shows, then my next goal is I'm going to fly in the East Coast to freaking witness a Ring of Honor show. So that's what I'm going to fucking do.
I hope so. I have I have friends out there that my one friend, Mark Saratella, who is a stand-up comedian, lives in L.A.
Yeah.
Marina Shaffer, who fights MMA. She is one of the 4 horsewomen, along with Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
She's out there in Glendale. Justin Pierpoint, who recently moved out there, who is a mixed martial artist himself. He's out there training with Eric Paulson. These are all my own selfish reasons to want to make my way out west. If you are out west, these are all people that you should check out if given the opportunity, whether that be, if you're looking for some stand-up comedy or if you enjoy your stand-up comedy and mixed martial arts. But I have my selfish reasons for wanting to get out that way, and for professional reasons, obviously, if it's Kyle and I together, I'm on board or apart.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Like
I said, I'm just going to cross my fingers. Just right now, I'm going to just cross my fingers, and hopefully I'll get to see finally Bobby Fish to wrestle in person. All right, then go.
I'm basically all out of questions. I was just going to personally thank Bobby for coming on, for taking time out of your schedule, Bobby. Appreciate it very much.
Yeah,
I know you're a busy man.
Problem, man. No problem.
Come on,
we got pay-per-view coming up this weekend.
Means a lot. And it shows, I think, the generosity and the I don't know how to put it exactly, but generosity is the main word for all of these, big independent stars to call up and talk wrestling with, these little podcasts going on. It means a lot to us, and it means a lot to the listeners that you would take time to come out. So I just want to thank you. Good luck on Sunday. I know you and Kyle are going to show Daniels and Kazarian what they've been missing in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, my pleasure. Just, let's get the word out there. Let's make sure people know that Ring of Honor is going outside the box here and really ramping things up and going in a big way. Finally, trying to take their place right up there with the top in this industry. And we're taking a stab at that on Sunday, Nashville pay-per-view, and leading the way will be Kyle and myself.
Yeah, definitely, Kyle. I mean, Bobby. Let's spread the world, and hopefully we can see you down in PWG, and you go kick ass Sunday, man.
Yes, sir.
All right,
guys. Thanks.
All right, take care, Bobby.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Take care. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Bobby Fish. What a great dude, man.
Very entertaining. Very entertaining. One of the most entertaining guys in wrestling. You could just tell by that interview, the confidence and the cockiness that he brings, which is
definitely. You guys show cockiness
than everybody else, because he knows in his abilities, and he knows what him and Kyle are going to do to Daniels and Kazarian this Sunday. Yeah,
definitely. For our listeners, we're going to take a little commercial break, and it's Shoot the Shit Wednesday. We're doing this fucking early. Who gives a fuck? But we're doing this early. But yeah, we'll be right back.
This is Kyle O'Reilly, and you are listening to WrestlingHeads Radio.
Four Corners Radio is the home for the best professional wrestling and independent wrestling, discussions and coverage. Billy, Ant, Martin, and Sam bring you three of the best podcasts every week. The Four Corners, Raw Roundtable, the Indie Project, and the Saturday Freestyle. Along with the podcast, FourCornersWrestling.com is designed with all wrestling fans in mind. Feature articles, videos, the weekly shows, and much more. Four Corners and Wrestling Heads are teaming up to bring you wrestling's next revolution. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready to shoot the shit. Are you ready to shoot the shit, Tom?
I'm ready to shoot some shit. Let's do it.
Okay, before we start shooting some shit, I just want to say that supposedly Skitz is going to call in here later on, and he said he has a big announcement to make. I don't know what his big announcement is. I don't know. We're going to have coming up. I know tomorrow night, or say tomorrow, not night, but and during the day, we're going to have Matt Taven on here, which is going to be, I believe, is in 3:30, and 3:30, I believe it is. You got to check it out. Let me double check for our listeners, just because I don't want to give you the wrong freaking time. Yeah, 3:30 Eastern. We're going to have Matt Taven tomorrow. We're going to talk more about the world, and you don't want to miss that out. And it's Matt Taven's second appearance here, so you don't want to miss that out tomorrow. And we're just continuing on our Ring of Honor week. But, so let's shoot the shit, shall we? I just found out that, or it pretty much been announced today, that TNA is bringing back the six-sided ring. The one thing I don't know about is that
they're not bringing it back just yet. They're letting the people decide. On Twitter and I believe ImpactWrestling.com, TNA is allowing the fans to vote on which ring they would like to see going forward, the six-sided ring, or should they keep the current four-sided ring?
Oh, I thought the firm was coming back, the six-sided ring. They're bringing it back.
They're letting the fans decide on which ring they should continue with going forward.
All right. I vote for the six-sided ring. But my question I want to ask you, would you mind seeing the six-sided ring again?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't mind seeing it. It's what made TNA stand out from WWE. Because when you were watching back in, 2004, 2005, when they first debuted it, because in their early days, 2002, 2003, they actually had a regular four-sided ring, and it wasn't until 2004 that they debuted that six-sided ring.
Yeah.
So you're flipping through the channels, and you get to Spike TV, and you see some wrestling going on, and you're like, oh, it's probably the same as WWE, but then you see that six-sided ring, and you're like, whoa, this is a little different. I should probably check it out. And that's what got a lot of people on board with TNA. Now, I will say this. No matter what ring they continue with going forward, it's not going to change their product unless they do something behind the scenes. You know, changing a ring isn't going to do much if your product is still shit, you know? If your product is still shit and there's still 20 talking segments in a row on Impact, then nobody's going to care about what ring you're using. They're going to care that you're not doing any wrestling. So it's all going to be TNA, how they utilize the six-sided ring if it does come back, because I do believe a lot of people want to see it back. So I believe that would be the majority vote. Like I said, it's just going to be on TNA to see how they utilize it.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you bring any ring that want eight-sided ring, doesn't matter. But it's that the product. You don't have confidence product. Like, problem with TNA is not the talent, it's the freaking people in the back. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah. They're putting like some weird story going on, and they have talent they haven't used in months. We saw Manic over the weekend, and before that was what? We didn't see him since lockdown. Before lockdown, since when? Months before that. So, you know, it's just freaking weird. And then there was one point you didn't have Kenny Keene on for months. So why do you sign these talents? You're going to use them for like 6 months. You know, what's the point? You know, it's just freaking weird.
Yeah, and you know, Austin Aries actually weighed in on the subject on Twitter earlier. He tweeted, "So the people who don't wrestle are letting people who don't wrestle decide what I have to wrestle in. Great idea. My body, my vote. Hashtag four sides." So I think, you know, even though the fans are voting, you know, Austin Aries makes a good point. You know, there's people in the back in TNA who are letting us, you know, decide what the wrestlers wrestle in, which is, it's a fair point. We don't know what it's like to take a bump in a six-sided ring as compared to a four-sided ring, because AJ Styles, when he did his interview on Chris Jericho's podcast, Talk is Jericho, he was talking about this. He said the six-sided ring did make TNA different, but it was also taking a toll on their bodies more, because it was, you would take a bump and it would hurt a lot more. You know, it was a lot stiffer. You know, it wasn't as cushioned. He said when TNA got those four-sided rings, he said he felt like he was in heaven whenever he would take a bump, because it wasn't as much strain on his body. And so I think both sides have positives and negatives. You know, obviously we want the wrestlers to be healthy, and obviously we want their careers to continue on for as long as possible. And, you know, we don't want them to be in pain while wrestling for us. You know, we're paying money to see them, but they're also entertaining us. So we have to think about them as much as we're thinking about what we want.
Yeah, definitely. Hold on for a second. We got someone calling right now, and I think I know who it is. Mr. W.H. Skits. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's good?
What's good? We just had Bobby Fish on here. He was, you can see he was a cocky bastard. He was cool, though.
He was the man. Bobby Fish, one of the best talents on the independent scene. It is, like you said, it is a crying shame that he is not promoted more. You know, you have all these guys who are, you know, showcased in all these different promotions, and Bobby Fish should be up there with those guys, because first of all, his in-ring ability is on par with anybody else, and he just oozes charisma too. So I don't know why he hasn't been brought in, but we'll never know.
I'm not sure what you guys asked, but did you ask that question that I asked you to ask them?
Yeah. The Davey Richard part, I don't know if you got him confused with Kyle, but that part kind of like stumbled a bit, but I think that was the only one that kind of like, but the rest I did ask him about the single career thing. I did ask him about the PWG thing, so yeah.
So I'm going to definitely listen to that. But I got some huge news for you guys.
I want to hear this.
Are you guys ready for this? I got some news. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, on Wednesday, 11 o'clock East Coast time on Wednesday, one half of reDRagon Tag Team Champion, PWG Champion, Kyle O'Reilly will be here on WH Radio.
Whoa! So we from one dragon to another reDRagon. Freaking sweet.
We are completing reDRagon.
Next week.
That's freaking crazy. That's crazy.
Man.
So that's our second time to have him on. Second time. Yeah, we can't wait for next week. So next Wednesday, 11 o'clock, you said?
11 o'clock East Coast time. That is 8 o'clock Pacific time for the Pacific listeners out there. Kyle O'Reilly will be here live on WH Radio for the second time. Should be a good interview.
Damn. From one reDRagon to another reDRagon. That's going to be freaking sweet. Damn. That's some good news. That's some great news, man. Great. So, yeah, we were just talking about the six-sided ring. I actually thought they confirmed they're bringing it back, but it's actually a vote going on for it. I want to hear your take. Do you like the six-sided ring back in TNA?
Honestly, I'm more of the square circle more than a six-side. That's my thing.
Oh,
I grew up.
You were never with. You're never.
I grew up watching. The thing is that I grew up watching the square circle, so that's like my thing. You know, I never really was a fan of the six-side ring, but
yeah.
You know, there's some fans out there that like it, and I'm pretty sure hardcore TNA fans will probably vote for it. So,
yeah,
I know guys like AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, you know, put the six-sided ring on the map, you know. But
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah,
definitely.
Oh my God. So also, EC3 weighed in on this issue. He tweeted out, "This is why democracy doesn't work. You people should not have a voice when it comes to my well-being and safety. Hashtag traditional, hashtag four sides." And it just shows the stupidity of people on Twitter, because everybody's tweeting out to EC3, like this one guy, at TestFight357, yes, I'm going to give out your handle, I don't care, at Ethan Carter, newsflash EC3, six sides is what the fans want, and the fans will get. Like, they're talking to these guys like these people are wrestlers. Like, they know what it takes to take a bump in both rings, you know. I think after one bump, most people would be crying and never wanting to wrestle again.
You know what? Do you feel that we ask for too much? Like, example, there's fans want to see the Attitude Era back in the WWE. They want to see the hardcore title, 24/7 rule thing again today.
Anybody who wants the Attitude Era back, I'm sorry, excuse my French, but it's shoot the shit, and this is Wrestling Heads Radio, so I'm going to curse, are fucking retarded. If you want the Attitude Era back, you're fucking retarded. Because I'm sorry, but the Attitude Era had a lot of bullshit in it. And I know, if you go back, you know, I was a kid growing up with the Attitude Era. I loved it. But I go back and look at it, and there is so much bullshit You know, you look back in we talk about titles changing hands too quickly. In 1999, it changed 14 times in a year. That's more. That's more. You know, that's about once a month, a little bit more. So think about that. Imagine if the world title in WWE changed hands once a month. Imagine if the Ring of Honor world title changed hands once a month. People would be going apeshit. People would be losing their minds, you know? So there's a lot of bullshit in the Attitude Era. And you look at today. Today, I can honestly say, is one of the best pure pro wrestling periods in history. Because there is better pure pro wrestling in all companies. I'm not talking just WWE, not just TNA or the Indies. It's everywhere. It's Japan. It's Europe. It's everywhere. Pro wrestling in general, the actual in-ring ability is getting better. And it's still improving, and it's probably at its best, you know? And this is a day and age where, you know, kayfabe is, for the most part, kind of dead. It's still there, but it's kind of dead. It's not like it was in the 70s and 80s, you know? So anybody wants the Attitude Era back, you're a fucking moron, and fuck you.
Yeah, you know what?
You know, let me piggyback on that real quick. I mean, just let it go. Let it go. I mean, that's like the past, you know, it's time to move on, you know. I don't know what era this is right now. I don't know what you want to call it, the PG era, or
that's
whatever,
another thing. I hate that term, PG era. You do not know how much that pisses me off and how many.
I don't know what the era is called, but whatever it's called.
But it's how is this the PG era? You know, people refer to the PG era from 2008 in WWE to probably right now because of the TV rating is PG. But that doesn't make any sense because WWE
to me it seems like the era
PG before.
Even though it's rated PG, it doesn't seem like it's the same era, like the whole Cena era. This is a different era now. From watching the Raw this past week, I saw I saw changes. I saw some changes, you know.
Changes have been going on for years.
It seemed like the card was focused on the future. You know what I mean? Of the company.
You know, times have been changing for years. This isn't anything new. You know, I think people need to realize, yes, you know, John Cena is getting older, and he's kind of, in the few years to come, he's going to become less and less relevant. He's still going to be a main eventer. He's still going to be one of their top guys. But that's something that people need to understand, is that John Cena is going to continue to be a top guy, whether they like it or not. And I think we need to, you know, over these past couple months, I would say since Royal Rumble, John Cena hasn't been in the title picture. John Cena has been feuding with other talent. You know, he's been putting guys over for years. You know, this isn't anything new. Yeah, you could say he buried people. He buried the Nexus, even though John Cena's gone on record to say that the Nexus, what he did with it at SummerSlam in 2010, it was a terrible idea on his part, and I think he learned from that. You know, I don't excuse what John Cena, the characters in the ring. I hate John Cena's character because it's boring as shit, and I will probably never like it unless something is done to change that character. But we're talking, you know, John Cena, the human, which is, you know, they're pretty similar, but I'm talking about how WWE books John Cena. So I hate when people say the PG era because that sounds fucking ridiculous too, because the WWE was PG before the Attitude Era. You know, they were PG for years and years ahead. You know, pro wrestling was founded as a family thing. It wasn't founded on, you know, barbed wire, and it wasn't founded on blood and TV-14 and all that stuff. It was founded on a family event. So I'm just shooting the shit.
It is what it is. What you gotta do, huh?
Yeah, I agree. You know what? It's funny, we're still talking about WWE right now. Skits, I know you were sad to hear this news, but there's no SummerSlam access this year.
I'm not.
I know you're.
It is what it is. We don't get to meet everybody anyway, so it is what it is. It's kind of a waste of $20, to be honest. If you really want to be honest, you've been there. We don't meet everybody.
Yeah, you don't. It's super packed, and it's, you know, to me, this is what I said this about a year ago. I think doing it at LA Live is bad because in downtown LA, I don't know if you noticed.
I still think it's a good idea. I still think it's a good idea to do it. It's still a good idea to do it at LA Live. I mean, it brings people out. I mean, not to compare it with other events, but, you know, the BET Awards is going to be at Staples Center, and they're going to have, like, the same type of thing, kind of access thing for music. You know, it's good for the city, you know? So... But,
the point is that...
I mean, we already know the issues.
Yeah, what kind of bothers me is that they have an ambulance there always standing right there, and they could prevent that. Like, I know it's L.A. and all that, you want to show off the sun, but why not can you do it indoor? The convention center is a block away. Why can't they do it in there? You know, there's people out there, it's not like us kids that can handle the heat. They can handle the hot weather. You know, all of our bodies are different.
You also got to remember at the Access, you know, they have the ring, they have matches and stuff. I don't think they have enough room for all that.
Yeah.
Inside the convention center.
I think we could put it. Look at, remember, like, I'm sorry, people, but me, it's just the shit, but I can get to some Horns convention, too, and that shit is huge. I'm sure they could put a ring in there. So, I don't know, but to me, I'm not sad about it. It's like I understand what WWE's going through right now. They're doing budget cuts and all that, and it's not a big deal. If they want to do something small, like they perform the past Venice Beach, and do something there, then hopefully they can do that. But let's see what happens. You know, I mean, it's not like we're not going to meet anybody. You know, we ran into like Fandango them last year. Remember that skit? So.
Yeah, it is what it is though. But to all the fans, you know, besides us, you know, it's I know a lot of people are definitely disappointed, but hopefully the WWE has like a NXT show somewhere, you know. You know what? That's what I was like. You know what? That was what I was thinking. Remember when Triple H announced, or sort of announced, he was doing the next show either on end of summer, beginning of fall, and so I bet you the original plan was to do an NXT show and Access, a live show in Access. I bet you they were planning that because we saw some NXT matches last year in Access. So I bet you that was the original plan. When Triple H said maybe end of summer and beginning of fall, he wasn't sure this was going down at that time. But now, unfortunately, now we know that it's not going to happen. I'm guessing they're going to have another NXT show and full star anniversary. We're not going to have it here today. So, real quick though, before I leave, did you guys go over the Best in the World card yet? No, when you called in, we were done with Bobby Fish. We did not go to that card. You want to go through it? I was just trying to figure out. I'm pretty sure Tom knows. But what's the new match that they added? I know they added a match today.
I haven't actually seen that. You know, I haven't checked Ring of Honor's website or Ring of Honor's Twitter today. So. But I'm going to go down the card from what I can remember off the top of the dome. Of course, you know, you got Matt Taven versus Jay Lethal for the television title, with Truth Martini basically tied to the pub. By the way, Matt Taven will be on WS Radio tomorrow. I'll be interviewing him. Be sure to tune in. That rival's been going on. That rival's been going on for a while. I mean, for a while, like, they're like building stories with these guys in Ring of Honor, and that's not the only story that they've been building on. Another story they've been building on is Cedric Alexander and Roderick Strong. See, I mean, I feel like Ring of Honor, you know, they just don't write stuff, you know, like feuds, and it'll be like a 2-week thing. Like they've been having
like, long, feuds, you know what I mean?
Okay. That match they added it's actually a 6-man mayhem. The winner gets a future world TV title shot. And the participants are ACA. I can never pronounce his freaking name, guy, but I sure talk about Watanabe. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Say that again.
Watanabe?
Yeah, him. He's going to be in the match. Caprice Coleman, Terrius Thomas, Beaner, and Tommaso Ciampa. So the winner of this match will get a TV title shot. Yeah.
Interesting.
I think Ciampa might come out with that.
I would love to see ACH come out, but it's not going to happen.
Hey, you're all over his nuts, I'm telling you.
I'm not on his nuts. I just want to, not on his nuts, just want to see my boy ACH get some success. I mean, you're on Bray Wyatt's nuts, right?
Hey, he's young. Huh? He's young. He's getting up there.
Yeah.
Don't act like you don't get on Bray Wyatt's nuts every week.
I like the guy. But he's cool, but it just seems like you hype him up way too much, so. But it's all good.
Like you hype up Bray Wyatt, right?
Am I singing it? It's the whole. I did not mention Bray Wyatt once today.
Anyways, back to what I'm saying. I'm hoping my boy ACH comes through. Give my boy a chance. Another match, Silas Young versus Kevin Steen. That should be fucking crazy. Fucking raw type of match.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't think this will be Kevin Steen's last Ring of Honor match, but it may be getting toward the end.
Yeah.
Because
honestly,
he's feuding with younger talent. Obviously, going to try and possibly get them over. So
yeah,
maybe the end for
and you know what? I agree. I like to see Silas Young go over Kevin Steen. But Kevin Steen, his last Ring of Honor show, well, who knows? I mean,
it's got to be best in the world. Excuse me, not best in the world, but Final Battle.
He can't go that long.
Battle? Oh, no, he can't go that long, because that's all the way in December.
His contract, I believe his Ring of Honor contract ends in June, at the end of June, and if his last show isn't best in the world, then he'll probably sign, another quick deal, another month deal to stay in and do whatever the July show would be. So he's not staying until Final Battle. I don't know what you're smoking on over there at Dodger Stadium.
Say what?
So I don't know what you're smoking over there at Dodger Stadium. Is Matt Kemp giving you that good kush?
Also, on the card, you got Adam Cole putting his Ring of Honor title on the line.
You know what? Elgin's winning it. I'm sorry. I like Cole, but I think Elgin's winning it.
You think Elgin's winning it?
Elgin.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't know.
Y'all crazy. You know what? Just for that, I'm going to hang up. Y'all have a good show. If y'all still on air, I will call back on my next break. WH Kids, follow your boy. Peace.
Peace.
Later,
all right,
kids.
That was WH Kids, but yeah, I actually think Elgin's going to win it.
Obviously, Skits was pretty high because he said he wanted Steen until Final Battle. Man.
That's crazy.
They must be like, listen, Skits, we're gonna get you high. That's what the Dodgers told me.
Damn. Maybe because the Dodgers about to sweep the Rockies, that's why he's getting pumped. But anyways, I'm sorry, I like Adam Cole a lot. I just can't see him keeping the title because if this is their first pay-per-view, it makes more sense if Elgin walks out the champ and you're introducing a new audience sort of in the way. So it would be nice to see if Elgin walks out with the title instead of having Cole sit in what the fuck.
Yeah. You know, see, my only problem, and I've said this before, is Elgin's, you know, charisma and mic skills. You know, you have a guy like Adam Cole who's, you know, pretty good in the ring. You know, he's not Elgin in the ring, and he's not as great as some of the other guys, but he's still really good. But what makes him really good and make him stand out, and there's a reason he's the Ring of Honor champion, is because his, you know, his charisma and his promo skills are through the roof. It's, you know, it's something that makes him stand out and makes him, you know, the Ring of Honor champion, and makes him want to represent the company. You know, because you look at what Adam Cole has been doing, you know, he's been going to interviews, he goes to radio interviews, he goes to TV interviews, he goes to all these stuff, and it's his charisma that makes him comfortable, and it makes him allowed to answer a lot of questions about Ring of Honor. You don't know if you're going to get that with Elgin. You know, Elgin sure is great in the ring, but can he bring that same charisma? I don't think he can. You know, I can't remember a good Elgin promo, and that's not on him. Some people just aren't good promo talkers. Some guys just don't have that natural charisma. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. But we'll see what interested to see what happens. Logan becomes Stevie, becomes
I think
great.
Actually, you know what? I'm thinking about it, and it's obvious. This is what it's going to happen. Elgin and Cole are going to be they're going about to wrestle, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a third man's added to the match, and that man is Artie Evans. And then they go through the match.
God.
Artie Evans gets the pinfall on Cole. 1, 2, 3. The streak is alive, and Artie Evans is your new Ring of Honor champion.
Now I think you're high. I really think you're high now.
I just believe in the streak.
Believe in the streak. Believe in the streak.
Believe
Goldberg's in trouble.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but I don't think that's why I think there's a reason Artie Evans isn't on the show, is because he's doing his thing in Chikara this weekend. Chikara's got 2 shows this weekend, and I was going to go through them real quick a little bit later toward the end of the show, just give it a rundown, because some interesting matchups, and you know, Chikara keeps doing his thing. You know, I think they think they're in Chicago this weekend, and I think they sold out both shows.
Yeah, definitely. But let's get back with the honor card for a sec. We just mentioned to Bobby Fish, the World Tag Champs are going to line. You got reDRagon, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish going against Bad Influence, Daniel Duncan, which, you know, I'm predicting the reDRagon, they're going to walk out with tag champs, and hopefully, well, according to Bobby Fish, they're going to be the tag champs at WrestleMania weekend, so let's see.
They're going to be tag champs forever.
Tag champs forever, so.
According to Bobby Fish, and I don't think Bobby Fish.
According to Bobby Fish, tag champs forever, so no one can mess them, not the Young Bucks, no, not even the Bad Influence.
But it should be, you know, it should be a really good match. You know, I think they're going to mesh well. I think their styles are going to mesh well. I think the reaction for Christopher Daniels and Kazarian is going to be huge, because they're going to be in Nashville, and you know, Nashville is the stomping grounds for TNA, and you know, Daniels is a TNA original, so I think they're going to get a huge reaction. I think it's going to be a fast-paced match. I'm looking forward to it. When I heard it was announced, I was like, we're getting that already. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And can this be another, I don't know, another final appearance, but Matt Hardy is teaming up with Michael Bennett against the Briscoes. Well, it was reported, or as we read, that Matt Hardy returned to TNA pretty soon, so I kind of see the Briscoes over, because this could be a good way to get rid of Matt Hardy or Ring of Honor. I think the whole TNA thing is a permanent thing, so you can see him in Ring of Honor in a few months. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Just so you know,
that,
you keep breaking up just a little bit in small doses.
All right. You said or no? Or do you got the idea what I was talking about?
What did you say? You kept breaking up.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Still breaking up just a little bit. But anyway, try and get that.
Can you hear me now?
Try and get that figured out for the next. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I was just trying to say that if this was another someone's leaving the company match, Matt Hardy going to TNA for the time being, and I was trying to say
I don't know if he's going to be in TNA full time. He is only.
I know. I'm just saying it's not permanent. I know.
Yeah, he said he's only going to be in TNA for the New York tapings. So.
Yeah, but if you look at this, if the Briscoes in this match, it makes sense because you can write off Matt Hardy for a little bit. Then when his time was over, he can come back to Ring of Honor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes sense. And you kind of want to get Michael Bennett. You kind of want to get Michael Bennett back into singles action. So.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So
which I don't. I'm not the biggest Michael Bennett fan, but he has been getting some momentum, and I could see him getting a Ring of Honor. If Michael Hogan does win, I could see him getting a Ring of Honor title soon. Yeah,
and it's funny. I actually met him on Saturday. He was a pretty cool dude at House of Hardcore. So he was a cool dude. And I think the match we have not yet mentioned is the final match, not the main event, but the submission match: Roderick Strong versus Alexander. Maybe saying this is possibly going to be the final, the final match, the next right here for this rivalry, because it's been going on and on. So the third match now.
Yeah, and it's actually been, in my opinion, it's been a good rivalry. It's good to have these, lower card rivalries, these mid card rivalries, and this is one that's been good between these two. They've had good matches throughout their whole rivalry, so I'm looking forward to this. I'm thinking Cedric might go over because they want to keep pushing him, so I think it would make sense for him to win.
Yeah. They should Cedric on this one. But yeah, that's this Sunday, Ring of Honor. You guys gotta check this shit out. It's on pay-per-view. I'm guessing $20 to watch it. So WWE had their pay-per-view. So yeah.
Yeah, it's also going to be, for people that can't order it on pay-per-view, it's also going to be available on Ustream.tv/Ring of Honor. So if you can't catch it on pay-per-view, catch it on Ustream. Should be a great show. Ring of Honor has been kicking ass in 2014, and I don't expect them to slow down.
Yeah, definitely. I think we should take one more commercial break, and we got to mention one show coming up, and then we could talk about Chicago stuff. But anyways, we'll be right back.
I'm sorry I don't have anything really cool to say like the other guys, but you're listening to WrestlingHeads Radio, and this is Candice LeRae. Mwah.
Yo, welcome to WH Radio. Today's show is brought to you by the good people down at WrestlingRambles.com. For the latest in wrestling news, in-depth blog, and hot topic discussion, hit up WrestlingRambles.com. Remember, it's not just any ramble, but a Wrestling Rambles. WrestlingRambles.com. And also special thanks to Ring Rust Radio and FLTDWrestling.com. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thanks to my people. I got fans cheering for me. No one cheering for Tom. Let's go. There you go. Thank you. Tom. Beyond Wrestling, they announced that Kurt Hawkins is coming and he's going against AR at Beyond Wrestling. What's your thoughts of that? It's coming to Beyond Wrestling?
I think it's pretty cool. I'm surprised Kurt Hawkins is already back on the indie scene, because usually WWE has a 90-day compete clause. So they probably, I don't know if that was just avoided completely because he hasn't, wrestled or whatever. But it'll be good to see Kurt Hawkins back in independent wrestling, and I'm sure he's going to do good for himself. I'm sure he's going to get some bookings around the U.S., so, good on him.
Yeah, definitely. See what he could do in Beyond Wrestling. And going against a guy who's been on our show, AR. So, see what happens. So, wish him luck. What he did. And I know he went with PWG, so I wish him luck on that. Not to knock out Kurt Hawkins. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's interesting. All those WWE, before we get to Chikara, all those WWE releases, Evan Bourne and all that. We could see Evan Bourne back in PWG or Ring of Honor. What would you think of that?
I don't think we have Evan Bourne. Maybe we should call him Matt again. So, but anyway, I mean, I thought that show was pretty good because Arnie and all those fucks. I enjoyed going to that world, like with Chris A. Enter a world, watch a Chikara show. I mean, so Chikara.
That's what it is. Chikara is its own different universe. Chikara is its own niche of a product, and it's something completely different, which is it's so good. It's so good to see that because it's not like you're not going to see bad wrestling on that because, you're going to see all these characters. You're still going to see some great wrestling. It's just something completely different, and you kind of have to just get into it and keep up with it to kind of understand it. But I suggest everybody just check it out. Give it a try. Go back. Watch some past Chikara shows. You can order some past DVDs on smartmarketvideo.com. Recommend checking out King of Trios, from 2011 or 2012. Both of them were great nights. There's 3 nights in them, and usually the third night is the most action-packed, and you'll see some great wrestling, some of the best you'll see in independent wrestling. So I suggest you check it out.
Yeah, and there's matches on this show coming up on Saturday in Chicago, by the way. And it starts at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Eastern. Yeah. So that's like what, 10 o'clock my time? No, actually, 10 o'clock my time.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be on pay-per-view. I think it might be just a live event.
Yeah, live event.
So,
yeah, this is basically a live event. Yeah, if you're in the Chicago area, you got to check this out. So, I would like to see a Chikara event for once in person, just to check it out.
Yeah,
but,
they don't come out to the West Coast too often. So I don't know what the chances are you'll see them, but you could still check them out when they do iPay-per-views and, check out their DVDs.
What match are you looking, or what, if you were going to the show, what match you are looking for to check out if you were going to the show?
If I was going, to the show on Saturday, which is, the name of it is Quantum of Solace. Chikara's been going with that whole James Bond theme going. There's a couple of them. First, you have to look at Deviant Ant versus Worker Ant, continuing the Colony versus the Colony Extreme Force feud. It should be a good match. Both of those guys, they've tagged in the past when Worker Ant used to be in the Colony Extreme Force until he went to the good side with the Colony, so that should be good. And also look for the Spectral Envoy, which is Frightmare, Hollow Wicked, and Ultramantis Black, versus the Wrecking Crew, which is the Devastation Corporation, consisted of Blaster McMassive, Max Smashmaster, and Oleg the Usurper. So you're going to see kind of a mix of high flying, and then you're going to see the Wrecking Crew. They're, more of a power style offense. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. And then there's a couple other interesting matchups. We have the Estonian Thunderfrog taking on the Proletariat Boar of Moldova. Should be... See, right there, you're just like, wait, what the hell did I just hear? You're like, what the hell did I just hear? You're like, what? You're like, what's the name of that guy? And then you look at it, and you kind of look at their outfits, and you're like, man, that's, it's a little silly, but it's still fun,
Just imagine, let's just say I don't know shit about Chikara. They'll be like, how many ants are there? How many guys are wearing masks? What kind of names I'm hearing here? That would be just a trip.
There's a lot of ants. There's
a
lot
of ants. The more ants, the better.
I think you never can have too many ants in wrestling.
Yeah.
I think wrestling needs some more ants. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. But you see, let me see that name again. What was that? See, you were on that the Explosion Thunder Frog. I was like, what the fuck is that shit? But that's
Thunder Frog.
Crazy as shit. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck? I mean, who could come up with a tag name like that?
It's just one guy. He's just one Thunder Frog.
One guy. I said, I'm tripping out. I'm tripping here. But it's one guy, and very interesting names here. Jigsaw.
Jigsaw and the Shard, which are
the Shard,
Pieces of Hate.
Yeah.
The Pieces of Hate. They're going to be going against ACDC, which is Eric Cannon and Darren Corbin. And Eric Cannon and Darren Corbin were teaming in Chikara for a while. And for those of you that don't know, Darren Corbin he has a special power of slowing down time. And if you look on YouTube, if you look up Chikara slow motion, you'll see exactly what his power is. He's done it to the great Sasuke. And that's what he's able to do. He's able to slow down everybody, not just the wrestlers. But you know how the fans chant, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
If you listen to the fans, because of Darren Corbin, they get slowed down too, and they chant, "This is awesome." Clap, 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 clap. It is hilarious. If you look it up on YouTube. It's guaranteed to be some of the funniest stuff you'll ever see in wrestling, and some of the most creative. Because who would have thought to put that on wrestling?
Interesting name, AC/DC. Same name of the rock band. That's like, what a great name right there.
Yeah, and it's just a coincidence because it's Eric Cannon and then Darren Corbin, so it's coincidental, but they made it work to their, ability.
Yeah. Did you went to the Ultra Madness Black, Frightmare? It was a 6-man tag, no?
Yeah, it's like I said, Frightmare, Hollow Wicked, and Ultra Madness Black, who have been 3 premier Chikara veterans. They've been in Chikara for a while now, and Ultraman Black also does commentary for Chikara.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and then, like I said, they're taking on the Wrecking Crew. Should be a good one. We also have the Submission Squad, which is composed of Evan Gillespie and Gary J, taking on the Throwbacks, which is Dasher Hatfield and Mark Andrusletti. And the Throwbacks are one of the premier tag teams in Chikara. Definitely a fun tag team. It's definitely they have some history together, but they're teaming now, and it's definitely good. Should be a fun one.
Yeah, definitely. I thought R.D. Evans was in this card.
I don't believe. I thought he was. Maybe he was only on the Sunday show. That's the Saturday show.
Yeah. Yeah, I check that out. The Sunday show.
The Sunday show, I believe, is called
Goldfinger, right?
Or Goldfinger.
Yeah, more James Bond shit.
Yeah, that's what their whole. When Chikara does, they're composed of seasons, like if it was like a TV show or something.
Yeah.
And so this whole theme is James Bond. So all the shows are named after, James Bond-esque type movies. So Chikara Goldfinger, which is Sunday, it's going to be at Detroit, Michigan, at the Majestic Theater. Some of the matches I'll go over just really quick again. We have a 10-man tag match, which is the Batiri, which is composed of Kodama and Oberian, and the Colony, Fire Ant, Silver Ant, and Worker Ant. And they're going to be taking on the Flood, and nobody knows who's in the Flood right now. It could be any 5 guys, so it's kind of a mystery. So you would have to see it to find out who is in it. And for those of you that don't know, Silver Ant is actually was Green Ant, and his name was Green Ant because he, how we describe guys who are new to kind of wrestling as green. Where they're not the best in the ring, we say they're green in the ring. That's where he got his name. But because he's experienced and he's a veteran now, he's now silver. So he's working his way up.
Yeah.
We also have 3.0, which is Scott Parker and Shane Matthews. They were at You Only Live Twice, and they've teamed in the past with El Generico to form 3.0A, and they'll be taking on the Devastation Corporation, which, like I said, is Blaster McMassive and Max Smashmaster. We also have the Kentucky Gentleman Chucky T, Chuck Taylor, taking on Jervis Cottonbelly. We also have the Spectral Envoy, which, like I said, is Frightmare, Hollow Wicked, and Ultramanus Black. They're going to be taking on Get Kiddo, and and nobody knows who's going to be in that match against them, so another mystery. Tony and Thunderfrog, I think he's going to be your new favorite wrestler. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
And he's taking on Jaka. Eddie Kingston's going to be there. He's going to be in action. So I don't see any Archibald Peck on the show, which is Artie Evans. So maybe he's doing something else, or maybe he'll make an appearance there.
Actually, Archibald Peck it says to be he's on the Diamonds Are Forever show. He's on that one.
Mhm.
Yeah. But anyway, I like
the two Chikara shows this weekend. Recommend if you're in the Chicago or Detroit area, check them out. Go over there, see some great wrestling, and then come back home Sunday night to check out ROH Best in the World. It's a wrestling weekend.
Yeah, definitely. We're running out of time here. I like to go to every of these events they're having in Chicago this weekend. For our listeners, you got www.pro.com /events. You can check out the weekend show we're talking about, and that's something that if you're in the Chicago area, Detroit area, maybe you want to go check that out. Check it out yourself. It's not going to be an pay-per-view or nothing like that, but you should check it out. It's our time that we got to give out our plugs. Fortunately, we're going to let you guys go. I want to thank Bobby Fish again for being on the show tonight. And check out Rest in the World, Ring of Honor this Sunday. I'm going to give out my plugs. You can follow me at Sinister63 on Twitter, Instagram. I got a Google Plus. Check that out. Check out WrestlingHeads.com. I haven't posted anything on my website, I know, but I'll be posting some stuff this weekend, like my top 10 and my classic match of the week. In the meantime, you can check out blogs. Hopefully, Tom will make a blog pretty soon, maybe a Chikara blog or something. Follow us on Wrestling Heads here on Twitter, also on Instagram. Follow us there too. We just post a lot of pictures of us with AJ Styles and all that. Well, not Tom, but me, AJ Styles, skits with AJ Styles. So you guys want to check that out. And tune in next week, Monday. And next week we just announced that we got Kyle O'Reilly on. So definitely. Time. Want to get your plugs?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter, Tommy on Dreamer. Keep an eye out, WrestlingHeads.com for upcoming blogs. I also want to thank Bobby Fish once again for coming on. He was an awesome guest, very entertaining guest, one of the most entertaining I've heard on Wrestling Heads all time. You can follow him on Twitter at @TheBobbyFish. And make sure to tweet him out, tell him how much you enjoyed his interview and how much you can't wait to see him this Sunday, ROH Best in the World.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Go to Pro Wrestling Tees/Wrestling and buy one of our T-shirts. Support us, please. And we're on YouTube now. Go to Wrestling Head. No, get separated. Wrestling Heads Radio, just separate. Just subscribe us on there. We're gonna put more videos in there soon, especially this Monday's episode and today's episode. We'll be there pretty soon, and we'll probably put some throwbacks with past guests on there. Please subscribe us and check us out on there on YouTube. Subscribe us also on iTunes. We're also on iTunes. Subscribe us there too. You can follow us. Just type in Wrestling Heads Radio. Separate them though. Just separate them, and then you'll find us right there. Our logo, the WH, the Hell in a Cell, the usual logo. Please do so. And I guess till Monday we'll be back with another edition. And Wednesday we have Kyle O'Reilly, and also actually tomorrow. Till tomorrow you have Skip Matt Taven. Check that out. You don't want to miss that. So 3:30 tomorrow Eastern time. Check it out. Skits with Matt Taven. Matt Taven's second appearance here in Wrestling Heads Radio. And till then, we'll be out of here, and we're done shooting the shit, and we're done shooting Chris's face. Peace.